Hello, welcome back to my crafty corner. This is Sarah. So, second part to the watercolor floral little album that we're going to make. That's not what this is right here. But what I did make is the Ephemera Keeper to hold my flowers and stuff. Because you know, we had so many packs of those, or not flowers, just the ephemera pieces. So, and this is a template that she just released, and I thought I'd make something really quick. So I did pull, goodness, they come in. What? No. What? So anyways, so I have this Ephemera Keeper. I decided to make it to hold all of the pretty flowers. Isn't that so pretty? It was fun. I wanted to make something really quick, and this came together pretty quick. So, and all I did was I took those ephemera packs that I had, and I just went through and added those in. Like that, and the little stickers. I just left those in the sleeve though, and I just stuck those in. She has a video for this as well. And I say that she, Jenofeve Designs, that's where I got this from. We're going to be using the Simply Magical, and I know that's got a glare, guys, I'm sorry. The Simply Magical portrait templates for this mini album that we're going to make with these watercolor florals. They're so pretty. I love it. And I had some more here. I got a blank page. It ended up being in the middle. And then I stuck my, I have a little extra space here. I stuck my hole reinforcers here. I have more flowers. There's a lot of flowers. And what I did is I actually ended up adding, like on the front, I don't want to flip through too fast because some of these bits, I mean, they're really small. I added extra little strips on here. She has a tutorial on how to put this together. She has several tutorials on that and all that. So I'm not going to go through and do that. I just wanted to show you what I did. And then I did split these up because I didn't want it to be that thick right in, you know, one area. So I just stuck those in there. I left them in there because that way they're not loose and they're not flying around everywhere. And then I put the labels in here and spread those out so that I can flip through easily and see what I've got. And then I put that one right there in the back. I ended up using that one pattern that I wasn't as crazy about in this because, you know, I don't want to waste. But I ended up using my favorite one on the front because I wanted it. And then, and I did the same as she did. I took one of the journal spots that she has, and I just stuck it on the front, and then I just wrote on there what it is. So I can always change this. I just wanted to show you that really quick before we get into what we're making. So I'm just going to set this to the side until I wanted to have something pretty on my screen. So I guess you can consider this a pretty much a use all of templates from Jenofeve Designs. They're absolutely great. I love them. And so, and it's helpful. It's helping to, I'm trying this because I need to stay organized and not have my space become a complete wreck. What we're going to do first, getting into this, using these templates here, we're going to make our covers. That'll be the first thing that we do. And guys, I debated because what I wanted to wrap my covers in. I'm not sure. I pulled out some coffee stain paper if I can get the cat off of it. Thank you, ma'am. And while I like it, I got mine a little dark around the edges, but you really wouldn't see that part that would fold in. This would be, you know, a good start because this is going to be, this is about, I guess it's 8.5, probably. So just regular paper won't do. And this is 11 by 17. So I think I am going to, and see this side's not quite as dark, and I can do that. So I think I am going to use, If you hear my son in there, I apologize. He's carrying on about a game. So I think I am going to use the coffee stain, even though I know this paper line has a lot of white in it, but I kind of want to add the brown. And two, when we're printing the templates, they're going to print with, you know, like when you print it out, it's going to print with this inked looking edge. And so I want to try to keep that going throughout. So I think I'm going to add that in by doing that with a coffee stain paper. Alrighty, so this is what we're going to do first. So I have my pieces of coffee stain paper. I'm just going to set those to the side because I don't need those just right this second. And I'm going to keep this open. I'm going to set it to the side. And I do have everything kind of somewhat neatly put in here. Here is the, I'll link this in the description box below too, anything that I'm using. This is the Ephemera Keeper Essentials, and so she has different ways you can do, and she shows different types. So I'm not going to go in and show that, but really good videos to catch up, you know, to check out. What we're going to do first is I'm going to take my chipboard. Okay. I learned this also. I think from Your Book of Memories. I'm pretty sure that, you know, your chipboard here, it has, like, you can see how it's not as flexible this way, but it's more flexible this way. Well, I want my flexibility to be not this way. I want when you do it this way, I want it to be in this direction. And that is just so that your covers don't bow and I've had that happen with albums before. And if you've used them, you probably know what I'm talking about. But I never really paid attention to that before until I'd seen her video. So that's what I'm going to go with there. Excuse me. Now in the book, from what I'm using, and I do apologize for that glare, P is for portrait. So I know that these templates in this area, if it's got a P before the number, that means it's for the portrait. If it has, like say if you do have it and you own it, you probably know what I'm talking about, or if you've seen her videos and you've watched the tutorials that she has, she goes through all of that. But for on here, if it has the P, it's a portrait. If it has an L, then it's landscape. Or if it has an E, it is ephemera, or enhancement. Sorry, wrongy word. Enhancement packet. So I'm going to be making sure that I have the ones with the P. And this is the cover, right? And then this is also. And now I'm going to have a little bit of difficulty because I don't think I de-stuck my tape enough, because some of them are kind of hard to get off here. So that might be a challenge. Like this one, it kind of, well, this one's not too bad. But anyways, so we're going to trace these onto our chipboard. So let me get a pencil. I'm going to turn this around that way because that corner has got a little bit of a raised part in it. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down just to the edges. Now, I guess you're wondering too, mine, this is one I had difficulty with, not the other one. Yeah. So this is your cover. This is the mat for the cover. When I made my template, I followed her tutorial, and that's how I made my book. To the best of my recollection, I did it the same way. Everything might not have been exactly the same, but just how it works for me. I'm pretty sure it was the same. But anyway, so I cut the mat out, and I just place it on top of that. So I know that this is the mat, which it tells you mat for page P1, portrait 1. And I know that to print this mat, I need to print page 22 in the portrait, okay? And so I'm just going to leave it on there when I trace it. No biggie. Just making sure that I got up to the edges. And now when I trim these out, I'm not going to say that I trimmed it out 100% correctly. So it might not be. But as long as it's close enough, okay? And then I'm just going to trace that. And I don't know it's not quite big enough to do that one, so that's okay. That's why I got two. Same thing with this one. This is the 2 fin spine, so that I know only 2 is going to fit on here. And this is about the thickness. This is probably about a 1.5 inch. This is about the normal size that I do. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to line it up right up to the edge, the bottom edge there, and to my pencil mark. Okay. And then I am just going to trace it right beside it so that when I cut it out, it'll all be together there like that. Okay. And then I will do the other on this one. So I'll just place it there. Okay. Same bit. Trace it out. All right, and then just put that back in the book. And like that. All right, and then we're going to trim these out. Now, let's see. Do I want to do it on my craft thingy? I think so. That'd be all right. Let's go. Sometimes I trim mine out on this mat's just barely big enough. I have a trimmer that I do use sometimes, but I think I'm gonna do it this way. I do it both. It just whichever. So I'm just gonna line this up to that pencil mark. Now, like, say if you do your pencil mark, to keep them straight, you know, say if you trim right on the pencil mark, then you need to do that for all pieces. If you trim right inside, then you need to do that for all pieces, or, you know, the same as if you trim for the outside. I'm going to aim for, like, right on, and I could be off, but as long as I can see that pencil mark, and hopefully I can do it without my thing, like, sliding around everywhere. I think it will stand up. And I think I might be able to get it just a little bit better and try to get more in frame so y'all can see. Okay. And then I am just going to and you might have to do it, you know, a few times to get it all the way off. Like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do the same thing for this and that, and I'm just going to run through and I'm going to do them really quick. Okay, guys, so I will tell you that I know it took me just a minute to do that. Of course, well, you won't see that because it'll be sped up, but it's better to go slow and, you know, get it cut right, because, you know, man, I don't want to have to go back and redo it, and it just gives you a cleaner cut if you do it that way. And so mine are not perfect by any means. I feel like I probably got one a little bit longer than the other or something, but that's okay. As long as they are pretty close, that's about the same, I'm okay. All right, so I'm gonna put this to the side for now. Okay, And I wrote on that one so I wouldn't get it mixed up with this piece, because this one's just a hair shorter, just a hair. I'm going to keep these extra pieces though for something else. And then we'll go in and we will mat. Actually, before I do that, take that back. I'm going to pull that back in here. Same thing that I do with most of my covers here. And yes, so this one's going to be big enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my, since I'm using the coffee stain paper, I'm going to use this big roll of tape, okay? So that's kind of wrinkled there on that side, and I don't kind of want that too much. So all I'm going to do is I spread that out there, and I'm just going to line up that corner to the edge, and then I'm just going to lay it down. Okay, and then I'll just trim that like that. And that's actually perfect. So, okay. We'll do the same thing with this one. Get my little thing out here and make sure that it's, you know, got some good adhesion all the way through. Contact, rather. It's got teeth marks in it, y'all. My cats, they chew on they eat my tape. I have to be careful. Can't just leave it laying anywhere. They gnaw into it. It's so frustrating. I can't tell you how many rolls of foam tape I've found just in the floor. Anyways, it's a good thing it wasn't expensive foam tape. It came from the Dollar Tree. But anyways, I don't know what their obsession with plastic and paper and tape is. So if I have papers laying up here on my tape, they gotta lay on them. They want to lay on them, chew on them, eat them. Have to be careful. Have to keep stuff out. So I'm hoping that this too will help me keep, you know, having this Ephemera Keeper and having this little plastic thing. I put stuff over in there and help keep me organized. And but I can still leave my stuff out on my table. I just put it over in that, because I hate having to put everything up, especially if I'm right in the middle of something. Like, you know, I mean, I want it clean, but I hate having to absolutely put everything up, because then it kind of deters me from crafting, and I don't like that. So, all right. Now, we are going to wrap these. And I'm thinking, do I want to use that Tyvek stuff? I only need one of these if I'm doing it this way. Think so? Yeah, so see, I'll only need one piece. Which one do I like the best? They're pretty much about the same. Actually, I think I like that one a little better. I wish they were a little bit lighter, but, you know, it is what it is. Okie doke. So I think this is basically the same size as that. Do I want to do it that way? So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use this whole piece. I think I'm just going to trim it down a hair so that it's not, you know, like sticking out over the edges, even though that part would be covered eventually, but, you know, we'll just save ourselves that trouble. I'm just going to cut about a quarter. Ooh. Yeah, there we go. Well, hang on. There we go. This one, I think this, the first one that I used, the one that I used on the covers is 6-inch. This is a 4-inch. So what I'm going to do, because my spine, since our spine is just small, I'm I'll just cover what I can in this, the 4 inches, and then I'll just trim it down. I'll trim that extra off. So I think that will be, I think that'll work. This is scrapbook.com tape. Oop, I try to get it as straight as I can without it being all, you know. I'll just trim off anything that I don't need. Let me use my ruler because that's just paper. I'm pretty sure I will not get that straight. Right, and then yeah. And those big rolls, they can be pricey, but if you get them on sale, I mean, I've had those forever. They've lasted me. They're lasting me quite a bit. All right, so all I'm gonna do now is just any of this extra that I had on here. I'm just gonna trim that right off. And I did have a little bit on this side as well. Yeah, I better do it like that. This piece is not going to be 100% straight, and I'm pretty sure there's easier, better ways to do it, but we'll just give this a go. And I'm only going to use the one piece. I'm not going to do more than one. I think one is plenty. Because you could do one like on each side, I guess, but I think one would be plenty. And there we go. Okay. So now, let me set that back over there. Close that up so I don't cut my arm. And pull our piece back in. I think like that. I can't exactly measure. This is 11 by 17. But that looks pretty centered to me. And I feel like as long as this piece is centered and then we have enough space on those sides and then we can fold it over, I think that'll be okay. I think it'll probably make it about the thickness of regular cardstock. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that. So first I'm just gonna I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna stick it down on here. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I think I'll be able to get it good enough. And I think what I shall do before I don't want to make a mess out of my paper, that's for sure. And I think right about in here, I'm just gonna kind of make sure that there's the same amount top and bottom. And I may be a little off, but I think that will be okay. Yeah, I got a little more at the bottom, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to go through and really press that down, okay? And then I'm going to put this center piece, center spine piece in there. Really? What kind of craziness is that? Okay, here we go. All right, and I'm basically just gonna eyeball it. Okay. Like so. And then I'm gonna take my 1/4 inch here. This one's actually score tape, but I'm going to use it because it's what I've got over here. And I'm going to put it down the side of this right here. Okay. Just putting it right up against the chipboard, or as up against as I can get it. Like that. And then I'm going to do the same with this. I'm just going to peel these off and stick them down. And it ain't perfect, but it's pretty good. I think I did pretty good. We'll take it anyways. Throw all this scraps away. The trash can and everything seems to be getting further and further away from me. Okay. So then we're just going to go through and all that down really, really good. I need to dye me some more of this coffee stain paper. I only got like a few sheets left. And then I'm done with it. We got no more. Okay. Now, I want to go through and put tape on the edges. Tape on the edges. So I think I'm going to take my 3/4 and I'm going to run it right along the edge of this coffee stain paper. Okay guys, so I got the edges all taped up here, ready to be folded over and stuff. So I ran 3/4 around the edges of the coffee stain paper, and then I ran the 1/4 around the edges of my chipboard. And now we're just gonna, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this up and kind of over on itself, and it just kind of helps to prepare that to kind of, you know, fold over, which it's a lot easier considering that it's the coffee stained paper. It does a lot better job. I like craft, but you have to be careful because some of it is so thick. It is hard to work with. It does make it sturdy though, but it is kind of hard to work with sometimes. And I know that's in your face, so just go over. Oh my goodness, I know you can hear him in there. Oliver, baby, he gets excited. He gets into his stuff. All right. So then we are going to trim off the corners, and I'm actually going to grab these scissors to do that, since that way I can maybe get. So now what I want to do, you can see like kind of where this is folded at right there in that corner. I'm going to go straight across, but I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch. So where I'm going to cut to, I'm going to cut on the inside part of this square here. Straight across like that. And then I'm going to do that on all of them. And that should give, see where I said we didn't need, well, I might have cut that part out. But anyways, I had said we didn't need all that tape. So you could have stopped that. That way if you didn't, you know, you don't want to waste that bit. They make those little tools that you can do this with. I don't have one of those, but that's okay. Scissors work. You can use a ruler. You can measure it if you like. I'm just going to kind of eyeball mine. And I'm actually going to chunk those. I don't think I will need them for anything.
I can't go get any dirt because
I don't think.
out there.
I'm gonna set them to the side right there. Okay. Now I'm gonna start with this side, and I'm just gonna peel the long one and the short ones.
That paper's still out there.
Oh. Okay. And I'm going to, actually, I'm not going to do it that way either. I'm going to, almost, see, I almost scooped it. I'm going to raise these in here slightly.
That paper's still there. What if I just explode it?
No, my little one.
Yes! Finally. Now's my chance to go.
Oliver, son.
What? I'm playing Minecraft.
Do you have to be so loud? Okay. All right, so we're going to take this long piece. I peeled these up just slightly, and I'm going to fold this middle part over first, okay? And then I'm going to take my bone folder here, and I'm going to kind of press it into that, and I'm going to kind of come from the outside in so that it kind of leaves that little gusset part right in there. Does that make sense? So that when you fold the covers, it's just gonna, I think it's just gonna line up better. Okay. And then I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna do this side the same way. Oop. Got a wrinkle, we'll just iron it out like that, and then we'll go to the sides. And this one here, and I'm going to just monitor these corners in. Okay. And fold that over. Good burnishing. All right. And my corners they're okay. I've done better, but they will be fine. Okay, that one I could have probably tucked in just a hair bit more. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of shrink, shrink it off, cut it off right there, a little bit. Okay. And then, Oliver, sign, baby. All right, so now what we're gonna need to kind of, I won't say finish off the covers, but I think for as far as we're gonna go for covering the covers, as far as we'll go today with it, is going to be putting a piece down here. And I think I'm just gonna do a piece for the center, and I'm gonna check and see if I have any scrap pieces. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this piece because this is what I was telling you my cats do. That's what they like to do. Yeah, so I'm just gonna take this, and I might use, let's see here. Let me set this to the side. I'm gonna bring in the trimmer. Okay, cut it down. Actually, I'm gonna lay this up here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark this. I'm gonna move it to about 1/4 of an inch out. I'm gonna cut it like right that fold. Actually, I'm gonna measure it up over here. And then I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna cut it again this way to make sure those are straight. Okay, and then turn it this way, and I think I'm just gonna measure it in at about 4 inches and cut that way. Put that up and pull this back in. So I cut that at 4. What we're gonna do is, well, if I can get my tape back out. So what do I got there at about, I'm gonna take this 3/4 again, I'm gonna run it around the edges. And then what I'm gonna do on this one is I'm gonna take my 1/4, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I'm gonna take my 1/4 here and I'm gonna run it right on the inside, going up to about, let's see, did I not? Yeah, I thought I left a little, yeah, it might have left too much. Going up to about here. I'm gonna go to about right there, okay. And I'm just gonna go down the edge to about the same up here at the top. There, that way, actually that might have been a little too much, but that's okay. It will be fine. And then we'll do that all the way across. Okay, so we got our tape all on here and on here. And now we're gonna attach this one down. I could have used Tyvek on this side too, but I chose not to. So we'll see how it works out. I could have just made a mess of it. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and peel. I'm just gonna go ahead and peel it all. You could just do one piece, you know, or pieces at a time. But I think sometimes if I don't, I seem to get myself in trouble when I have to go in and peel when it's already half stuck down. I end up tearing it and everything else. So I am gonna stand up though to make sure that I get it pretty decent. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure top and bottom wise we're about the same, and I can't really tell very much. And I'm actually just gonna, I'm gonna hold up on the sides and I'm just gonna let it touch in the middle. Okay. I'm gonna let this one side go, but I'm going to press right down in that groove, okay? Pressing this part. Ooh, be careful not to you know, get it torn. I mean, even though we have that Tyvek in there, I still don't want it torn. And I don't get that wrinkled there. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this one around this way. I'm gonna go ahead and peel this piece. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm going to kind of still hold that up a little bit, but press it down in that. And I'm not worried about that torn looking edge because we're gonna cover those, so you're not gonna see that, right? Yay! So there are covers, guys. Yeah, looky there. All right, so that turned out, I think, pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. Seems like a lot of tape. It probably is, but I feel like if you have it, why not? If not, you can use wet glue. And wet glue works just as good. I wished I had have gotten like more tape to that edge part. I wish I'd have ran like maybe another piece on there, but I didn't, and that's okay, because once we stick something down on there, and I could always just put a little piece of or squirt a little bit of glue under there, and that would hold that down. Right, so, and it's not necessary really, I guess, to have that big of a, you know, but it just kind of, you could make it skinny this way, and it kind of folds open better and stuff, so.
Ancient Egypt.
So I think that's turned out pretty good, and for some whatever reason now the paper doesn't look as dark as it did before. I think because mainly all the darker areas are on the inside, but like I said, we're going to cover it, so you're not going to see a whole lot of that, but it's just enough to give it a little bit of color. And even though I know the paper got a lot of white in it, I still wanted to add some of that brown, and I think that looks good because you can even kind of test out things like when you do little projects like this too, because you know that's printed on, so now I know what that's gonna look like, and then this is inked and I know what that's gonna look like. And I didn't ink absolutely everything, but you know, it's so pretty. Isn't that just pretty to look at? And you haven't even really used any of it yet, but it's just so pretty. I love it. And it's just with an elastic, so I could always, if I wanted to add more, I could add another couple of these in here if I absolutely had to. But I probably won't use any more of the paper. I probably will save the rest of that for the album itself. And it's not going to take a whole lot of paper in here either, because you know, it's just going to be a small spine, so we're not going to have it's not going to be huge. But enough, it will be filled. So I guess I've rambled enough now. I'll leave that there so we can look at it. I think it's so pretty. I love it. And I guess that's all I got for you today. The next video, part 3, will be on probably, I haven't really decided if I want to do the covers first and then go to the inside, or if I want to, I tell you what, I think I might want to do the covers first, at least the front maybe, and then put the binding piece in here and get that ready. And then I think we'll probably go and do instead of me putting like all the pages in, I think I'm gonna do one page at a time. That way then I don't print out a bunch of stuff and have too much and have a lot of leftovers. I could just print as I need. That way then as we get further through the book, whatever pieces I didn't use in the beginning, I'll have, you know, have things that we can use throughout. So I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. I will get mats for the insides here, mats for the outside, and yeah, so that is all I've got for you today. I could pull this down here so you could see it. Mercy, I hope I had it do that all off. My camera placement's a little different than what I'm used to, so I've got to make sure that I use my little, there's marks on here. I guess I'll have to use those as a guide as to how far, how low I need to be when I'm filming. You guys can let me know. All right, so if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, click that notification bell, and you'll be notified when I upload a video. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that, and thank you for watching.